Fusion Watercolor Painting Program by Henry. And we are going to feature the special flower, the sunflower, which has many more added meanings now. Look up my emails, please. Henry wrote a very touching few paragraphs about that. Again, we are recording the program so that we could review the program and we could watch it live. Please turn off your video camera if you do not want to be showing your face. And you could change your name also if you don't want to show your name. Thank you very much. And we are basically recording Henry's live screen right now. Yes, Henry, thank you.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Henry, your instructor today. So I will continue to study fusion watercolor based on my previous project for Kathy Bank 2022 Year of the Tiger calendar. When I was working on this calendar, I had no idea what extra symbolism this month 7 has involved as the word exchange. I mean, has changed since the February 24th. And if you go to gas station today, you won't miss the course of that, right? The gas price reached more than $6 per gallon here in California yesterday, and so I think regardless of what your background, ethnic background or national background, we all should stop this war. So for that reason, I would express my support for Ukraine by doing this painting slightly different than the theme that we had. Actually, when I shared my previous project, my previous class in my social network, my brother in China, he asked why this tiger is swimming in the lotus pool. The tiger should live in the jungles while the lions live in the middle or the Africa. So I told him that this could be in a zoo or a circus in Las Vegas. Anyway, it's a symbolic painting, right? So we try to express the meaning of protecting or keeping peace, because lotus symbolizes peace. But in this case, I have to put this tiger as intrusive tiger. So maybe a little bit different posture. Let's see what we can do here. Oh, by the way, we can do some little studies like I've done for this project. This actually is, I had this question from day one: why the tiger is in the sunflower field? I had tried to persuade my client to change mind, so we could do something more symbolic than a real tiger in the field. So I suggest to do a scarecrow kind of tiger wearing a tiger garment, something like that, and they don't like that idea. this must be a Ukraine goal. I don't know. I saw lots of pictures these days. People wearing blue or the other color of the national flag to show their support in the sunflower field. Anyway, this is like a country. It could be a tiger faced scarecrow, some kind of thing. But I think I also like this one. It's like a those standing board kind of like cut off in the shape of tiger, so children could stay behind to take pictures. You see this kind of thing in farms or ranches. I thought this would be a cool idea. So cartoony face tiger, but they didn't buy that idea. So I also suggested to do the tiger with a tiger decorated like a balloon. I do find them on internet. They're tiger shaped, tiger head, big balloon. So they don't like any artificial elements. So they insist to do the tiger like a real tiger in sunflower for whatever reason. Now we know why. So I'm going to do this with a reason, with a good reason. So the material I'm going to use is you can use hot press mixed media paper. I'm using a different brand. What's this brand? Krombacher, right? Krombacher. I don't know how to pronounce it. Krombacher. So thank you. Thank you. Krombacher mixed media paper. It's similar to the Carson mixed media paper I've been using. It's a hard press. You can use this for drawing and then water-based media, and it won't buckle. The best part of this is that you can take the page off like that and then put it back, so, because it's so it's very sturdy paper. So you can do this, kind of put it back or rearrange it. It's very. That's the only book I found that doing this. This actually was recommended by my Western watercolor teacher, Robert Shiro, in his class. And I also bought larger size book, because I do like the surface. So let's try do a small study first, maybe. I would draw with any pen or pencil, whatever. You can draw just a square. Just it could be a little smaller, then you can enlarge it if you want. And then we do a horizon line. Okay, and you can draw some perspective line. Can you see the drawing? Yeah, maybe I hold higher, maybe. So you can assume there's a viewpoint. I really cannot really see, but the vertical linear perspective, right, or horizontal perspective is maybe more obvious. So something like getting closer. So if you have a flower here, it will be this big. If you have a flower in the second tier, it will be a little bit smaller. So last time when we do lotus, I had many students in my class in my online class. They had common issue that you have big like a front ones, then you have the small ones in the distance. But they missed some middle ones, so it's getting smaller. There's no identifiable individual flowers in those in the most distant area. So just pay attention to the size. So you can roughly draw 3 big ones maybe in the front. I'm not sure what this just arrange the flowers so they are not evenly intervaled. The distance between the flowers are different. Also, some more crowded. And we will do a tiger, like a profile, like just a head sticking in, and maybe a little back. That's probably it. Okay, if we do color, I think the value is very simple, so we're not going to do the value. The black white is value study, and so you can use either cobalt or ultramarine, maybe a little ultramarine, light ultramarine, just to the sky. In Chinese traditional wash, we don't usually like the beading, the extra moisture, so you can use a dry clean brush to drug it, spray it if you want, to take out like a sponge, to take out the extra moisture. Okay, and then we do another wash from bottom up with yellow. This will be cutting yellow, like a warm kind of yellow to start with, and then you go to lemon, the cooler, the distant. You can add some red even, but I would do the dark brown or orange for the center part maybe. So we just do the light, the color of the light. Okay. Okay, and then you can start to add some cool in the middle. Maybe you can do better with gradation. And then clean the brush, just do the lemon. It could have some green in it. Okay. We can just forget about the tiger. Just do the, and you can make the sky a little bit darker. It's still wet. Oops. But try to clean the brush, not have any yellow in it. It will turn blue. Right. I add a little bit to turquoise, maybe. So that's basically the color of the Ukraine national flag, right? And then we'll after this dry, we'll add some dark green and browns. Let me see. I can use a hair dryer, small one. If you want the some white clouds, you can use tissue actually to just take out some blue. Yes. That way. Okay. And we can go for the medium color, maybe a little bit red and the blue into the yellow. and you can define the center. There's a species called a hybrid actually called tiger eye, and that's what I was trying to to relate to the tiger. So there's a dark dots in the middle, and then some dark rim on the rim, and sometimes the red is in the petal, right? So you can do the petal first, actually. Just radiate from the imaginative center. So you can group them so they are not too regular like a pattern. So some may be overlapping. So just pay attention to the outer shape of the. If there's some perspective distortion, or maybe a little bit. Normally, I won't do a back view because they all facing the sun, right? So you don't have to vary the direction, maybe as other flowers. Okay, and the middle could be a little of this red. I don't have a specific. I forgot actually what exactly I did, but basically I did try to do it from light to dark, following the. But you can also do the dark first. Then you have to use the gouache to cover it. So to save some white is what is the best. So maybe later we'll save more white when we do the first wash, right? But basically, we don't need to worry about the details, just a general idea of that. So you have some medium, then recede become, as it recedes, the dots become denser and sparser, or less and less, and then become just a line of maybe some different yellow. Just a scratching, with some dry brush, suggest some texture, different texture, and then we'll cut in some shape with darks, and we can use ultramarine because we already have the brown. I mean the yellow, so you can just let it blend. So if the blue is not so thick or so pure, it will show through some yellow, or blend on the paper, so it will create some greens, and you can then add some brown to make it even darker. And for the stem, you can use a fingernail or some sharp object to scratch, so you don't have to negative paint them. You can use a credit card or some other method to create the stems. Okay. I tend not to do the leaf shape because it will make it more complicated. But you could, if your painting is really big, you probably have to do some a few identifiable large leaves, like heart-shaped sunflower leaves. They're quite large, some even larger than the flowers. And negative paint a little bit the shape of the flower. So for this study, we just test the color, the hue, to see what color it looks good each together. Okay, then we can add some brown, dark. You can use ready-made like burnt sienna, or you can mix red, blue, and a little yellow, or purple. Just if you want really dark. And I like to mix the browns. It varies, and I purposely make one like a smiley face, but in this case you don't have to make a smiley. Just maybe make angry. If you could make some angry face or some kind of other expression would be better probably, or just a staring eye, just a round eye would be fine. And this dark could be lost in the font, so you don't have to do the circle. But the circle could be suggested, but not complete. Okay, and you can put a little orange on near the end of the petal, and just kind of fray like radiate from the center out. You can add a little bit also in the eye, and then at the end of the petals. You can also just paint some red, orange petals. It depends on the overall impression you get. You can put these dots in the distance. There shouldn't be any detail like petals. That's so the detail gets less and less in the middle, but it should be a little bit mid ground once, and then you're getting just abstract, more just the color without the shape. All right. The tiger, it will be the same orange color. The Siberian tiger actually change the coat. In the winter they turn more white. In the summer they change to the camouflage. The color become yellow, but not so brown kind of. And we can use a little bit dark for the eye, small eye. I will do that more and some stripes. Okay. there's some white. It should be saved under the chin, maybe a little bit in the ear. That's about it. Okay, now we do a larger one. You have any questions on this? Okay, I forgot to, you can scratch a little more the stem, but I really don't need too much, because you can see, if you look at the picture behind me, you don't really see stems or leaves, just green, yellow. Okay. So only a few identifiable flowers. Maybe zoom in a little bit, just if you want to take a picture or something. Let's see. Better focus. Okay. Just different combination of different yellows, oranges, brown, and green. Okay. I'll use a smaller brush for the tiger maybe later. This is my previous work. Okay, I think you like to do the watercolor, right? I do have two materials, but let's say if time allows, I will do both. But how much time I spend? Half an hour, not bad. Okay, this is the arches paper, the painting we did last time. I haven't taken it out to remove it. You can use it. I'm using a bamboo paper cutter. You can get from Librarian Arts. The advantage of this is that you can take it with you on airplane without any trouble. Okay. I'm not sure if Arches has a front and back. I noticed the grain may be a little different. Maybe not. So I don't know which side is the front. I just use the other sides this time, just to explore. So this is a 12 inch by 16 inch. So it's actually smaller than the work I did. Anyway, I'll just do a. Actually, this is 12. This print is 12. So I just do this. Okay. And because this composition is relatively simple, so we don't need to trace. I will omit the mountain or make it smaller. So we can do a horizon line. Now you can have a little bit here, a green trees in the distance, and then we have this field. So basically that's remote middle and then the front. Okay, so from here we start to have a little bit dots kind of flower. So this is the tiger. I need to save the space. Oh, instantly I have the reference of a profile. Okay, let me see if I can find. I think. Okay, I'll make a political cartoon kind of Russian president. Must be a little thicker. Anyway, it's just an idea. You don't have to. You can just paint the sample I gave you on the original. The flower arrangement here, this is the biggest one. Roughly here. You can touch the edge. Don't be afraid to go outside the frame. And then this two combined actually is much bigger than the face of the tiger, okay? And here's a side view one. You can draw a little bit direction lines to hint the grouping, you know. So when you do those petals, you do it in 5 or 3 or in a group, in a grouping cluster of strokes. Some variation there. Here I think there's some kind of like a back view or some blurry, or you may say obscure shapes. You don't have to identify all the flower. So they have a direction. So this one should face the other. This one is in the middle. It's like a host. Okay, this one turning a little bit, maybe a little bit to the direction of the middle, but it's softer than this, or lighter. So this to a host and this guest. This one is a little behind. So there's contrast between this light and the dark. It's the biggest contrast. So you may save a little white in this area to create some contrast. So I'm not really doing the drawing. I'm thinking when I paint how to do this. So this is green, big green area, and this is a green area, some green areas there, and so we don't have to hide the tiger in this case. So it could be against a lighter background, or green, or a little bit green there. You try to use color difference, not a value difference, maybe to yeah, this could be a little smaller. I think this could, it might be too big. Okay. You get the eraser. This is too big. But it should be bigger than the flowers, right? So we still have to consider. Okay. I was thinking if you do the original posture, it could be, it still work. It could work still. It's like surrounded by the people of the Ukraine, or trapped. Yeah. So intrusive or trapped, either way, it depends on your interpretation. Okay. So I'm going to do the sky first, just a little bit water, clean water. Okay, you don't have to have it all wet, because if you skip some, it could be, you know, white clouds. That would be nice to have. You can have a little bit yellow in the near the horizon line, just to blur it out, so it's not going to be a hard edge. So usually I do the horizon with some kind of yellow or what is called the ochre, yellow ochre. Yeah, just and then cerulean or cobalt. And some ultramarine. Let's just make it a little darker. It will dry lighter. Okay. And then just to continue with yellow. Okay, this lemon is too it's okay, I think, if it's diluted enough. Just blend it in with it becomes green. Actually, not a good idea. You can have some purple in between. That's what we have learned earlier. Right? And yeah, if something happens, you can And if you don't like it, you can always blot it, then let it dry a little bit, redo it. Okay. So I start to add a little warm color. You don't have to do it too even. Some part is cooler, some part is warmer. It's fine. This time, just the light, keep it light, and then we'll do the dark later. And I save a little white here for the tiger's maybe chin under the under the nose, some part like that. And you can skip some to create to leave some highlight if you want, because some white would be used as the highlights. Okay. You can use more. You get some more fresh colors here. I use this this brand called Cool, not Cool, Cool, right? This is the same maker who makes the golden acrylic. If you're familiar with that, golden acrylic. Oops, this is not orange color. What's that orange color? They have different names. I really have no idea what it is. Looks like the medium, but it's not called. It's too so small. Diary light. I don't know what's the term. Yellow. Maybe I can zoom in. Oops. If you use the high resolution, like large screen, you should see this, even read this, right? Anyway, you can use any warm yellow and cool yellow. Okay. Or you can blend red into the prime yellow, whatever yellow, to get warmer. Okay, so let's do that. But first we keep it light. But in the front, I start to just to paint. I like to do it in one, just like a Chinese watercolor, Chinese brush painting, to leave some strokes, and it's best on dry paper. If you missed it, you can still use the regular way, the watercolor way. But sometimes I go with dark. Then you can add your light after this dries, because this creates some hard. You can also do this later, depends on your working habit. There's no right or wrong here. So this is stronger, medium, and then we can reduce the warmth, make it a little cooler here, and just start to draw this. Okay, the outer shape could be redefined with the darks, the leaves.
Henry, I'm going to bring a comment from someone. They read a review about core watercolor, and they find that they are vibrant colors. However, the core watercolor tend to create hard edges and therefore not so good at creating transitional layers between color layers.
It's kind of very technical. The hard and soft has to do with the moisture and you know, the for me, if you paint wet into wet, it will be soft. If you paint on dry, it will be hard. Yeah, I do find that kind of hard edge, the puddle edge or the stain edge. That's what I like, but you know, some artists may turn against that, but I kind of like the hard edge. It's really not a problem, a disadvantage, I think, and you can control that. If you want to blur the edge, it's very easy to do. So I think the vibrancy is the main difference between this brand and the traditional brands, because they say it doesn't fade as much as the traditional pigments. So that would be good. I think it does look more vibrant. You can see here. It's not the what is it called, the metallic colored iridescent, right? What's not that kind of color, but it's still traditional hues, but just a little more stronger somehow. So let's just bring them together. So you can just do maybe some circles for the large shapes of flowers here. Okay, and you can do like wet into wet. You know, when you get to a little farther than this nearest ground. Actually, you can paint the green part with yellow, just to unify the whole painting first with yellow on this lower part, please, and then let the yellow show through or blend with blues later to create. But you know, the reason I do some shape is to do some positive shape, to make it easier to save some white, because otherwise I don't know where to leave white. So they are not a dead color, just one smooth, like a flat wash. But there are some. You can also put some what we call the Q gold color into this. It's created kind of natural yellow, and maybe some burnt sienna. Start. Okay, maybe that's too early. Let's do. Let it dry. I think that's the best. To let the first pure color, pure yellow to dry. Then you add this browns and the greens. Okay. Some saturation. You need to saturate the center, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I think when we try to save the white, we tend to save too much too early, and if that happens, you need to eliminate. Don't be afraid to eliminate the extra whites. Okay. We'll use a calligraphy brush. Maybe this one. Let me try to kind of set the background for this shape here. So we use a little cooler yellow, then the tiger will be a little warmer, maybe more orange. I just add a little bit red before dry them. If you want like a very soft, like we talked about, the way to make soft edge is paint wet into wet, right? And partially wet and partially dry is also interesting. So you get one stroke, some into wet, some dry, so it creates different effect. Okay, I think we need to dry it before we add another layer with medium different color, like the greens. Okay. Okay, we'll start to do the second layer. You can start to define some of the flower outer shape with the ultramarine or other whatever blue colors. They are not so opaque, so you will show the yellow under it. That creates green. And you can also use some burnt sienna and reds also to create interesting darks. Some dry stroke could also create soft effect, a soft edge. So there are many ways to create soft edge to avoid the disadvantage of this paint. If it is, I never noticed that actually, to be frankly. Okay. And some you can change the brown into like more green by adding blues, or enhance the color you with wet into wet. After the initial layer, you can add more, charge it. So like here, I try to define this edge on the upper side, and here maybe a little bit like that. You also pay attention on the other side. So if this side is hard because I use the tip and the heel of the brush, if you use the heel of the brush to paint, that side is softer, right? So this side is rougher, because you want this flower to be more defined. So that's why I do this kind of. So my tip is define this edge. Okay, and then the bottom of the brush, the heel of the brush, you can use to expand that. Okay, brown. Burnt sienna and the ultramarine can make a good dark greens. And then on top of that, you can add other greens or browns or yellow to adjust. Try to suggest a little stem, something like that. So there are some vertical lines. You know, if you try to get some suggestion of stem, but you don't have to really, identify all those details. Just the feel of it. I can try to paint some kind of feel like the flower is falling or damaged or something by the tiger. Maybe just some explosive pattern or something like that. Oops, I got some really thick paints on my brush, so I have to use it. So it's really dry brushing to do some heart shape, heart strokes. And you can soften it with a clean brush. It's just water. This is how you can soften it. You can just take it away a little bit like that. So this brush, the second brush, you can put it together like this, is to spread it or sponge it out or soften. It helps to cheat, to make it look like painted on rice paper or something like that. Yeah.
Somebody want to know what color you use to do the brush green?
Oh, the green is ultramarine primary, and you can mix with brown, like the burnt sienna. Yeah. Okay. And you can just use pure red for orange color, but you can add a little blue to make it browny colors like that. Okay. Radiate a little bit. Okay. The center is like the eye. So in this painting, I try to avoid the smiley I did earlier. So you're more looking down, maybe looking angry or something. Okay, the dark against light here. Maybe you can create another one here. Let's make this part darker. You don't have to paint all around, all the flowers. Some like overlapping is needed. Okay. Some just a little dark. So the only one is more like the fully develops. The other will just suggest. Okay. I think I will use another brush just for the leaves. I don't have to keep washing my brush. So let's do the dark green here. Just use ultramarine. You can just keep it simple. You can just use ultramarine first, and then you charge it with brown. other colors. Yeah, negative hint a little bit like that, and then just fill in this. But you don't have to make it even. Some part is still show through the yellow underneath it. It makes it more green. Okay. And some purple, some reds here, I think, in this area. You cannot see this corner. That's right. Okay, let's do some more. I got some ready made, like a viridian or some kind of sap green, whatever. I just use all kind of green. Okay, so this upper part we need to define a little bit. You don't do it like one by one. You just do a group of several, like 3 or 5. Negative shape. It should be less water actually, so you really don't have to repeat it too many times. Okay, let me get some really thick ones here. I added a little turquoise, the opaque color. Okay, you can add a little brown also. So I tend not to do as much detail as in the first group down under it, in the front. So you can also use less pigments, more water, just soften it, more suggestive. Some outside the frame is needed, just like half. Okay. Green. Add some more water. And some rhythm is needed. So it become a field. We do a pattern like this. Suggest a field. Linear perspective. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to contrast a little bit with the orange color there under the chin. Oops, that's a too. I tried to use a different tone, but it's a little over. Oops. that's too close to the tiger. Something like that. The rhythm is the hardest. We call it the resonance of the spirit. So it's really subjective. It has to do with breath, the artist feel of it. Yeah. So you always keep an eye on the whole when you do details of certain area. You keep an eye on the whole. So it's too red. I think the Western painting is really about lighting. So trying to convey the sense of lighting is the primary goal of the watercolor painting. I don't know where the light comes from actually, but it's from top basically, and maybe from behind the viewer. So that's what I think. There's some vertical texture. Is the distant the stem or the leaves holes, or in between the. You can see the pictures behind me. The greens, okay, is more vertical the round shape is the flowers. So that forms the pattern of the whole design. I try to identify some eyes, the sunflower first. Okay. And then use the green to further cutting the shape here if it's not clear. I do like some connection between shapes, so okay, some connected shape here. And you can also use the back flower to cut to define the front one. So this here maybe a little different, maybe a little orange. To define the front a little bit. Squint a lot, so you see if the idea complete, you can leave absent of a stroke. Sometimes just like three colors, they blend together, create an impression of something. Like a dark brown onto yellow, symbolize this, become the center of the sunflower. Be careful with the dark when you get to distance. I will just use more blue instead of purple, dark bronze. Okay, we can just use the dry brush for the flowers in the distance. You can use this kind of like you're painting waves of something like water waves, right? This kind of rhythmic. And then you change maybe another tone, a little warmer, or so it should be a gradation from pure yellow to more faded, less red, maybe more red in the foreground, the middle ground. Oops, got too dark there. But that's good. A little bit accent. Accent. And you can harmonize with if it's too scattered, you can bring them together with some kind of wash. Make this area a little greener so it will show that shape a little bit better. Oops. I'm trying to get ochre, but this color is kind of green. I got green and ochre. A little bit happening suggests some flowers, otherwise it will be just a blank of yellow. Okay, so look okay, and then we can do a little bit maybe distant with kind of maybe purplish gray. Some village with trees or something. I'm not sure if the hills, but it could be something like that, just to separate the sky and the land a little bit. And that's it. Okay, just a bit more. So what you don't paint is probably more important here. Let me see. Radiate. Some petals, maybe. You can use pure yellow as white to to add on dark like that. The lemon yellow, if you use it right out of the tube, it's like covering. You can use it to like oil painting. So, just a little bit. Don't paint too much with dry. That would be make it look too much like oil. Okay. I tried, the most difficult part maybe is the middle ground, the transitional ground from the front, because front you can do a lot of details, right? The more realistic. The semi abstract part is probably most difficult for everybody. And you can go abstract here in the distance, doesn't have to paint any detail, but it's the middle one. How much detail is very subtle and makes the painting really different from a master to a student. Yes.
It's 3 o'clock.
Okay.
30 minutes.
30 minutes left. Okay, great. Let me just finish the detail on the tiger face. Let me zoom in a little bit. Can you see it better? Huh? I use a smaller brush. Maybe just tiny little brush like this. I just use a little brown burnt sienna with maybe ultramarine or other blue, dark, or you can use this kind of cello maybe. So just the eye, a small eye. suggestively to add a little feature to the face of the tiger. You can do another big ear, maybe. Not sure. Okay, I think that's about it. I just draw this symbolic flowers. No, just this kind of like a target symbol, you know. But they don't complete. Just do a half of that. Half. Try to create a pattern of the perspective. You can just do it dark I do the darker dots. I think that's about it. Okay, let me zoom out to show you the finished look. Maybe this corner is a little bit too light. You can put a shadow here. Don't be afraid to remove the unwanted white. So it's more, it will pop the flower even more. If you get too many too much white spots, you need to do this to eliminate some of them. So this last stage is dealing with unifying, harmonizing the painting. I think the dark stroke still bothers me. I made it even darker. Okay. So when you make a mistake, just paint around, and then you deal with that. Don't fuss right away with it. Okay. And look with the squint eyes, or check like with a phone, through the screen of your phone to check. You'll see better on a small scale. It would usually tell you what you need to finish. Well, if I keep adding like 4 layers or more, it would become muddy. So try not to do too much. That's it. I'm going to sign it. I'll use maybe red or blue. Yeah, maybe blue.
Henry, could you zoom in the face of the paper, please? Thank you.
Oops.
Yes, that's nice.
Let me just move it here. Okay. Better? Oh, that's too wet. I cannot do it. Let me try it first. Okay, now I can do it. Let me see. Maybe I do it with darker color, like ultramarine or sailor blue, just like black. So make sure it's not too wet. I'm doing my initial with this Blue Heron logo, H. Y 22. Yeah, the original was actually done in 2021. This one. This is the initial, the sample painting with your learning, and this one actually I did earlier as a study. The color rough. I call it color rough. Okay. Get rid of that corner. Actually, I like the dark color here. Somehow, maybe I can make it darker. Yeah, don't make the color too even, so it will feel more real. dry brush, just contrast with the more moisture of flowers. And you can add a little dark, even stronger along the edge of the front layer, here and there, just to accenting a little bit. Yeah, use dampen brush certainly can soften an edge if you want to. Okay, let me see how you guys doing. You can unmute yourself, and I'll change the screen to Zoom. Okay.
Okay, you could raise your hand or physically, or I see Susan Mink, so I'm going to spotlight her first.
Okay.
Other people could raise your work or raise your electronic hand.
Wow, very nice, Susan. Susan's flowers, very, very nice. I like the contrast of dark and light. You have one very detailed, good, and just maybe a little bit on other, maybe one or two with a similar detail. So you will maybe on the right side a little bit more. Yeah, some color transition in the middle is needed, so it's more gradual from dark to from warm to cool or something like that. And make the tiger a little bit blend in, also with some similar color in the middle ground. Very good. And the center of the flower, sunflower, is bigger than daisy. Remember that, because the seed part is much larger than like a chrysanthemum or daisy flower. You know what I mean? So the center, yeah, it's the petal should be shorter, and the center could be larger. I don't know if it can still change that, but yeah, it looks a little bit too small. It's more like some others, like aster or some daisy, Mm-hmm. So you want to make it, yeah, the center bigger, the seeds bigger, seeds part bigger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shirley, you're being spotlighted.
Shirley,
your video is turned off, so you need to turn it on.
Yeah, you have a
feature your work.
Great.
I don't know how it's.
We see the white. Oh, sorry. Now it's Henry.
I'm sorry. Did I make a mistake? I think now you were spotted. Maybe. Oh, what's going on here? Who can see this transition?
I just spotlighted the Shirley.
Let me do it again. So.
Oh, you're gonna do it, so I should not get involved. Okay.
Oh, okay. I see another hand, another painting. I'm going to do that one. Benita. Okay, the spotlight for everyone. Okay, here we go. Benita's painting. All right. Yeah. You guys, bumblebee there. That's nice. Is that a bee or something on the upper? I mean, in the middle. Okay. Yeah, the flower is positively painted with the petals. Very good. the leaves could be a little integrated, so it doesn't look like small leaves. Should be just like a there's some large leaves. So that's good. There's one large leaf. Just bring them together a little more. And since it's landscape, so maybe try to combine shapes a little more in the middle, in the farther ground. So if you want, you can, because your perspective is view line is a little lower, so you don't have to do a lot of background. You can just finish the upper part with more similar kind of flowers. So you don't have to reduce the size in perspective. Just expand that to the top, because you look like you're looking at the flower from a lower perspective, right? That's okay. Just add some stems in between leaves. It will be good. Okay, very good. The distance is the mountain is a little too dark. You can fog it out with some opaque, like gray, blue, or some white with blue to fog it out, or green and blue. Okay, Thank you. I cannot hear you. You're muted. Sorry. Can we probably we move to another, the next person. Is Bonnie Campbell? Campbell? No, you don't have. Okay.
I see Laura. Is Laura?
Okay, here we go. Laura, good. Okay, Laura, I like the subtleness of your color. Very nice. Feels very sunny, and just some more dark, medium and dark in the foreground. The tiger could be a little bit more saturated. Just a little bit more saturation needed. As a beginning is good, and the dark contours could be more blend in with the background. I mean the leaves, so they don't look like a contour. It's good to start with like a contour, but you need to make the color beyond the contour is same, so it will become leaves, not just the outline of the flower. You understand? The negative painting, not positive painting. If you outline it, it's positive painting. If you squeeze it out, foil out with other color or tone, you negative define the yellows, with the blues. That's it. Very nice composition. I like the composition. Just a little bit middle ground flowers, a little more defined.
Okay.
Okay, great job.
Yeah.
Okay, any other? Okay, we have D. Okay, let me just spotlight D. All right, D, you're on. Okay. Yeah, I like the void on the right you have, even without
They
the
look
tiger.
like sunflowers. I think they look more like something else.
Yeah, I think that's the same reason I talked about Suzanne's. The center must be very large, much larger than normal flowers. It's the proportion between the center and the petals. There's some wild sunflower like this. It's okay. They don't produce seeds. Right.
But you can't go over it to make it larger, can you?
You can certainly do that because the center is dark. The seeds will turn brown, so you can enlarge that eye, that middle part. You can just do another big circle, and then do that with bronze. I can show you pictures of the. Maybe do I have it? You can check tiger eye. Just check on Google tiger eye species sunflower. You will see what I mean. So the center is could be dark, completely brown. It's good. And then you add some yellow with opaque, to add highlight. It's very easy.
Would you make the petals also larger, or?
No. The petal is fine. Just enlarge the center. I think that's my. I didn't.
Okay.
If you look at, if you go back to look at my painting, you'll see the proportion is different than yours. Let me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. If you look at my sample again.
I will.
Yeah.
I have the on my computer on my own.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Now next
Thank you.
person, Sabra. Right. Okay. Sabra's painting here. We're looking at.
Ooh.
Very nice color on the sky, the pink and the blue. Realistic mountain here. Okay, the flowers, the front row is very nice. Front row is very nice. The second row become too sudden, too small. Changes, the size changes not so gradual. You need to go gradually smaller. Okay.
So make some more.
Yeah, just make the second row above the first one a little larger, and then they should become denser too, not just sparser. The flowers in the front line is more scattered, and then become closer and closer. The intervals become less and less, and eventually become just all yellow. No, yeah, that's the linear perspective. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any other hands? It seems like a difficult challenge class, huh? Yeah, you may take more time to finish. If you want, we don't have time to do another one. I did 2 already today, so we got another finished one coming. Trisha, thank you for sharing. I like the void under it. You can have that void space there, and I see some snow on the ground. It's nice in the distance. Or it could be snow in the foreground, but I'm not sure. Sunflower doesn't have snow, right? The void is very typical in Chinese painting, and in California style watercolor, they also leave some unfinished part like this, and it's very, very good. Yeah, just the edge in and out of the leaves could be a little bit rhythmic, because the center looks like unfinished. If you put one more under it, maybe near the left, yeah, in between the two. So just one more, maybe no, a little bit to the center, to the right of your hand. Yeah, right there. So
a leaf or a flower?
A leaf, the flower.
Okay.
Yeah. So it extend, or maybe just the stem. Extend a little bit stem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a little stem.
Stem, going down. That will fill the gap, fill the void. It will make the void feels more complete or pregnant.
Right there.
Yeah, just have something in it, not just unfinished, but it's more suggestive.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's a
very
little
nice.
wet. I can do it a little wet on wet.
Yeah, it's very good. The center of the flower is more rounded, as characteristic of sunflower. The dots could be less, more like a circle thing, like a ball or a bowl, right, shape. So the little dots, the seeds could be you have to kind of bring them together into a sunflower. Typically, the sunflower has a big, a giant center of round shape. Yeah, try to bring that round shape around it. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
yeah, otherwise it's perfect. Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other? We have 3 minutes.
I see Ping raising her hand.
Okay, Pings. Okay,
Can you
great.
see her? Can you see her?
Yeah. How can I do that? Report. Oh, I have trouble to. Okay, now I did. Okay, very nice. Negative painting here. Your smart camera is following you, like a turning. That's interesting. Okay, I like the layers of land mountains behind. That's nice. I think the color could be a little saturated, maybe. I mean, pure maybe somehow in the front. It looks like all your painting is muted with brown. You can have a little bit orange or pure yellow somehow in the front, a little bit, and then try to make the stroke for the leaves a little bit blended, so it's not so calligraphic or too much, especially the large stroke on the front next to the flowers. Maybe what I'll do is use opaque petal color to put the petals in front of the leaves, because this leaf, this cutting, like cutting off the flowers too much. There's one stroke, the curvy leaf. I would make that either behind some petals in the front, behind the front flower, and you have same issue with the size of your center. The sunflower center should be twice bigger, and you have one nearly correct. I think the one on the left, upper left of the first one, I mean the center one, is near right. It should. If you could just make the center flower centers bigger, so they look more like the sunflowers, not just not daisies. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. I think I made this. I didn't emphasize on this proportion. Next time, if I teach sunflower, I know that. Okay, thank you everybody. And I think the time is over. So
It's exactly 3:30.
yeah. That's first time I didn't extend the time. So thank you. I will send you the finished painting in my social network, also on online class. You can take a look of both paintings, the initial sketch or rough, and pay attention on the proportion of the leaf and the petals. Okay.
Thank you, Henry. And everybody, Henry is going to continue teaching us. We are going to have a special class on Saturday, April 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And Henry is going to use a new technique to paint. So registration link is in the chat. You can start registering. From May through June on Wednesdays, Henry is going to do another series of painting, continuing the Schwarzer style of painting. So if you want to reserve.
Yeah, it's a kind of Gombe, westernized Gombe style painting. Sounds interesting. If you, it will make the Gombe more appreciable, without the ink lines to Western eye or taste. Thank you, Yongle, for exploring this new technique style with me.
Thank you, Henry, for taking an adventure with us for the past 2 years, not only sharing traditional Asian brush painting techniques, but combining with Western influences and explore all these new innovative styles of painting with us. Again, save your Wednesdays in May and June, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Time for additional series of Henry's painting.
Thank you
very
Yolanda.
much for your support, and we will see each other next week. Enjoy your painting. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody.
Thank you.